Alright guys, here's one of those videos. Yeah, with those headers bolted to the motor, they were too wide and would not fit in there. They did not build them headers right. So, that was a fun project. Putting them in, pulling it out, putting them in, pulling it out. A few times. I enjoyed myself. So I had to use the exhaust manifolds. And all that head work I did to this thing, I just couldn't put them things in, bring myself to put them things in there the way they were. So I hogged them out and tried not to get too thin, so we'll see if the cast will crack or blow through. We'll find out. Hopefully I did pretty good. I don't have nothing to sonic check anything, so it was, where you could reach and touch and squeeze and feel, and I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I hogged them out pretty good for an exhaust manifold all the way through. There was a couple of spots on the front and back sides of the ports on the exhaust manifolds that you could really take a lot off of and get it, you could widen it up, and I didn't have no problem getting it wider than my port coming out of the head, so we're fine there, but it funnels down when it gets to the rear of the exhaust manifold, so we'll see. But yeah, that was real fun. And then a little disclosure, well, a couple actually. This came out of a van. The heads that I used out of the 5.4 on this motor came off a van, so the van has the long tube that comes all the way out to the front. So I'm gonna have to modify. So, ended up breaking that out of the valve cover, which it was pretty much frozen there solid anyway. And I have carved part of it off. And I'm going to go ahead and try to clean. I still got to clean it up more. But I'm going to try to modify this down over this one on the top. I got to take this valve cover back off, trim it down, and I'm going to epoxy it right to it because I can already tell that the hole that one goes into is most likely larger. I'll find out because you can still purchase these. So, but second disclosure, this thing's been apart so long, and I was so frustrated with doing those heads, or not the heads, the headers, and in and out, in and out. The motor came in and out 3 times. Well, after I did spent the time porting the exhaust manifolds and getting them on and put the engine back in, and man, it went in fairly decent right up to the tranny, and got all my bolts in the tranny and started sliding it together. And I asked the wife to clean a plate. Okay, now what I do with the plate? Lost it. Oh, okay, clean a plate for me for the transmission. Okay, this one, right? You know what she brings back to me? Yeah, the plate that goes in between the transmission and the engine. Says, "Is this clean enough?" I looked at her. It was one of those things, you just had to laugh after in and out 3 or 4 times with the engine with those horrible headers. Yeah, I had to pull the tranny back out, since I had the motor already in. I've had to pull the tranny back out and put the plate in between it. And she just couldn't believe I was laughing the whole time after doing all that work on this car. But hey, life, that's what happens. But being a mechanic all these years, I should have known Ford has a plate between the transmission. I mean, come on. I'm still laughing about it. This donkey has costed me a lot of hours, let me tell you. But I'm just waiting for the next thing. Yeah. Oh, another disclosure too. After I got the engine in there, everything done, the dipstick was on the floor over there. Well, you gotta take the exhaust manifold off to put the dipstick on, or in. So, while it was in there, I had to take that driver's side exhaust manifold off, and if anybody's ever seen one of those, that's not very fun either. So, yeah, not Ford experience, but I will be after this one, let me tell you. All right, guys, there's my dilemmas. Now I've got today's with fabrication here. I've got to fabricate the intake, because it's a HPS intake. I think it's HPS. Let me go over here and see if I can't bounce this around and make it blurry. Yeah, HPS intake to go on it. I'm gonna have to get a throttle position sensor set up on it and figure this out and figure that out, and I'm gonna have to find out which fuel injection rails I'm gonna use, which injectors. This one had EGR delete, which I did weld up my port coming off the exhaust manifold, so should be all right there. But I've got to take this apart and check the inside of it, because when it came full of packing peanuts, and my luck, this damn packing peanuts wedged up in there, so I ain't gonna take a chance. That's all I need after all this, is get packing peanuts wedged in my valve seat. Geez, how come number 8 isn't running right? Well, it's because the intake port's full of packing peanuts. Okay, just joking with myself here. That's what I'm doing, guys. Enjoying myself. All right. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.